Okay, so this is The Wild Robot, it's the last DreamWorks animation done in-house. It's based on the 2016 novel by Peter Brown, written and directed by Chris Saunders, whose directorial credits, he's got credits on Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon. Very starry voice cast: Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, Kit Connor, Bill Nighy, Uncle Tom Cobley and all. Score by Chris Bowers, of whom I'm a big fan. This is his first animated feature. I think he took over from Henry Jackman. So Lupita Nyong'o is the voice of Rosam Unit 7134, who's a robot who is shipwrecked on an uninhabited island. And it's sort of like a domestic robot to make things better, but dropped in the wrong place, must adapt to her surroundings and build relationships with the local wildlife, who name her Roz. And through a plot contrivance, becomes the adoptive mother of an orphaned gosling chick whose family she accidentally destroyed. It's a healthily upbeat attitude to death, or the circle of life, as Disney would have it. So early on, we learn that nature is very dog eat dog. This is a world in which everything is in danger of getting eaten by everything else. It's all part of the natural cycle. And it then becomes a story about how this robot, or monster, as she's referred to, sort of must learn about parenthood and emotion, and also must bring peace. She must teach the young gosling that she's now, it's sort of inherited, to fly. Her mission is now to make sure that it can fly off, but also she keeps secrets about how it got there. Anyway, it goes on, and I looked at the BBFC rating. It's rated U for very mild threat, violence, language, and rude humor. I actually thought some of the humor was darker than that, but it's U certificate film, and it's got lots of lovely life lessons. It's about how you deal with being bullied and how you deal with emotions versus rationality. And there are things in it like, sometimes to survive, we must become more than we're programmed to be, and kindness is a survival skill. That's kind of the message of the film. It's got this very hand-painted aesthetic, which is sort of referring to Studio Ghibli and the old classic Disneys. I think My Neighbor Totoro and Bambi were like two of the big influences. But the characters they're done through these CGI matrices, but they've got this sort of hand-painted look to them. And the filmmaker said it's as if a Monet painting was in a Miyazaki forest. It also drew inspiration from the work of Sid Mead, who was one of the futurists who worked on Blade Runner, whose work is really brilliant for the science fiction element. So anyway, robot in nature, so touches of Wall-E, therefore touches of Silent Running, story about lonely robot, so reminders about Iron Giant, and also in terms of the robot design, everything from Forbidden Planet to R2-D2. But at the center of it all is this thing which is very Metropolis. It's the thing about the mediation between the heart and the head. And also there's a bit of Frankenstein in there. I thought it was really charming. I thought it was really, really charming, really lovely to look at, very, very sweet-natured despite all the jokes about death. And there are a lot of jokes about death. And I think it'll work well with a family audience, because whereas the kids will enjoy it because it looks nice and it's got a sort of very heartwarming story, I think even from an adult's point of view you can enjoy it as well. So it's called The Wild Robot, not The Wild Robot, and I liked it very much.
Is it unfair to say that sounds to me like a bit of a positive departure for DreamWorks? I can't think of a DreamWorks film that has that sort of level of, I guess, philosophy and life and death stuff.
Well, I mean, DreamWorks themselves may argue differently, but
I'm sure
this is. I mean, there's an interesting thing that on the BBFC description, they say this is a lovely. They say a robot. This is how they describe the film. Okay, the BBFC. A robot's programming is challenged by the natural world when it crash lands on an island rich in wildlife, in this warm-hearted animated sci-fi adventure dealing with love, loss, identity, and friendship. And then it says that there are things in it. A goose is bullied and characters are in danger, and it says, however, the film focuses on love and friendship, and there are reassuring outcomes. And actually, as always, the BBFC review is perhaps the most accurate. It focuses on love and friendship, and there are reassuring outcomes. And I think they should put that on the poster, reassuring outcomes, because right now, a reassuring outcome would be a lovely thing.